you've spoken about how meaningful a role like T'Challa would be. If you are entrusted with that Black Panther role that is so culturally significant, what would carrying that mantle mean to you?
Well, to me, as I've spoken on this before, like that to me is a very delicate situation where people would have to first understand the value of what it is and what it has laid down in order to understand how to carry it forward. You know, I look at the Marvel of it all. I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm a big, like, I came up on graphic novels and all that. But Black Panther was, I believe, the first Marvel film to cross $1 billion at the box office, right? They were hitting high numbers before that. But I think it was the first one to cross $1 billion at the box office. People are surprised. I'm not. Absolutely not. And they're like, well, why? Well, you have the wonderful nature of Marvel and all that, and the commercial aspect. That's crazy. And it's great and it's amazing. But culture pushed it over.
Yeah.
Because now you have a cool factor of how it is represented. Obviously, that doesn't happen without Ryan Coogler and him putting his touch on it, because he is aware enough and wise enough and talented enough of a filmmaker to understand how to make a great film. Where the brilliance comes in is he understands how to roll in culture in a very relevant way, where everybody gets a seat at the table and gets to enjoy it and gets to understand. He understands how to translate culture in a way where it's still honest to who we are as a people, while still leaving an open door for everybody else to come and enjoy. The value of Chadwick playing this titular king, and what that meant was, because we don't get it as far as American cinema, we don't get it in real life.
Yeah.
We don't get our Shaka Zulu. We don't get our Queen Nzingas. You know what I'm saying? We don't get our Patrice Lumumbas, our Tomas Sankaras. We don't get that. But we have it in this fictionalized form through King T'Challa. And the value of that representation for kids to say, regardless of how fictionalized it is, I can still see myself in that. I can still see myself now through a lens of expectation of being that. That's what it means. That's why it was so well received. That's why it made so much money, because the dollar spoke, because this is what the culture is aware of. They know this about themselves, and they're happy and relieved to see it reflected. So if you're going to step into it, it's not a situation of, oh, I'm just coming in to be an actor and I'm this cool role and this. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you're going to have to realize you're carrying on a legacy that was already started by Chadwick Boseman, may God rest his soul, and Ryan Coogler. Regardless of who it is that steps into those shoes, I think you got to walk with that awareness, because whether you want to or not, it's not up to you. That's the effect that's going to be had, and that's the expectation of the audience. They're going to expect that you come in there with that degree of reverence and respect to actually push that legacy forward. So as long as you carry that and you know it's there, step into it. You know what I'm saying? Right now we see, Letitia Wright, she carrying a man who shout to Letitia, But if they ever bring somebody else to step in as, T'Challa, or maybe playing his son, also T'Challa, or like an alternate, version, whatever.
There's a bunch of multiverses now and stuff. They can do anything with that.
But the thing is, there's an extra value added to the representation and the symbology of that character that must be acknowledged if you're going to step into the role, because it's not like, Chadwick walked away from the role. It's not like he left. Unfortunately, he passed. He was still in his bag. You know what I'm saying? We all still mourn that. I didn't even know Chadwick well. I'd met him, and, he's real cool, great energy, gave me respect. They gave him respect and all that. And I ain't gonna lie, when I heard the news, I cried. I didn't even know him like that. But I understood what we lost. I understood what it meant, and it hurt.
Definitely did.
So, you got to understand the value of it. It's special. There are few roles in this life that have an extra sort of weight to them And that's one of those that supersedes the nature of fantasy or superheroism or any of that. It has an extra added value that has to be regarded.
Yeah, and it's rare that like a role like that is available. You know what I mean? Like it's almost
very
like
far and few in between.
I think it's the most sought after, talked about like role in cinema right now. It's like, who's going to be that guy to be the next person? Almost like when they're looking for a new James Bond or they're looking for a new Superman or a new Batman. It's like, who's the next Black Panther?
That's responsibility.
That's a huge responsibility.
It's even more so for Black Panther than it is for James Bond or Batman.
Especially given the circumstances.
This is heavy as a head who wears the crown at that point in time. Like, are you willing to take on that responsibility, that spirituality that comes with that too? It goes deeper than just saying action and cut and it's a spirituality with that too, especially if you going into that character. That's a different character, because you can't go into that character without understanding and addressing what came before you, right? So, and that within itself is a whole nother play that you got to worry about. And if you ain't strong enough to handle that, don't even come out for the role. That's basically what's what's being said.
It's gonna be scrutinized like a politician.
Yeah,
like, that's how it's gonna be looked like.
It
like
will
that
be.
person.
But I think to your point about being strong enough to handle it, I think that something that you have to consider, because there are a lot of actors who don't want to have to consider those things, and to a degree, the fairness in being able to just play a role and have it be separated from who you are in your life should be applied, but that's not always the case. I think the difference here is, to your point of having the strength to take that on, is that I think Chadwick carried the same grace in his real life that was reflected on screen, so you couldn't really separate the two. It's always going to be synonymous. And that there becomes the expectation.
Yes.
And are you fit? Are you prepared? Are you, even gristled enough to wrestle with yourself to even stand in that? Because that is the expectation.
Yeah. There's certain roles that like you can separate the man from the joint, but like if you get cast as Batman, you Batman everywhere. You know what I mean? If you get cast as Black Panther, you like.
Unless you do a weak Batman, and then you
still always get the Batman sort of, you know what I mean?
Bad Batman.
Like Clooney, you look at Clooney, you're like, all right, he was Batman.
You don't want to be the bad Batman, though. You don't want that on your resume.
Hell no, man.
Nah, man. Nah, but shoot, Batman, or even like, I know with Joker, we always talk about who was the best Joker.
Yeah, that's
right. And look, I'm a huge Jack Nicholson fan. That was my very first real encounter with Joker, but Heath Ledger, he got that
big time.
I mean, shoot, it's almost like the same.
Hands down, drop the mic.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same way that they're gonna look at the Black Panther joint. Like, it was done so well. It followed some unfortunate circumstances where the person lost their life, and now it's always gonna be, that role's always gonna be judged on the level that Heath Ledger made it. Black Panther's always gonna be judged by the level that Chadwick Boseman made it. Exactly. So it's like, it's gonna be. Yeah, I think you make a solid Black Panther, man. I think you.
All right, ain't nobody called me. Okay, just let y'all. Ain't nobody. They be like, oh, we heard. You ain't heard nothing. Trust me. Don't give me no smoke with Marvel talking about. You said I ain't say nothing.
He want the role.
Ain't nobody called me. I'm just saying, like, let's keep it. Because I want to see, like, if they do it again, as a fan of it all, I just want to see it done well and done right.